Hello there, Taurus, and welcome to your monthly reading. This is for the month of November. I can hardly believe we're already 1 month away from the end of the year, but indeed we are. And this is an interesting month because we're going to be beginning November with a retrograde. And for many, retrograde can create a sense of, nervousness or a lack of ease. But I actually think that this is a really important time. Typically, retrogrades will reveal to you things that are either not serving you or that perhaps you should be paying attention to. It's a time for resolution, for transformation. And so as we look at today's forecast, we'll see if there's anything that comes through that is some sort of like a revelation, a chance to let go of something or embark on something. So I'll also kind of talk about the cautionary notes that exist during retrograde, and we'll get more into that in just a moment. I'd like to begin, however, with a proper introduction. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. And if anybody is returning here, I'd just like to say thank you for that continued support and most importantly for continuing to work on yourself. That's why I show up. If you're brand new though, I would also like to give you a nice warm welcome and give you a quick overview of how I work and how everything is set up each month. I separate every reading into 3 or 4 basic parts. At the beginning, it's channeled information. This is when I access raw intuition and I share with you anything that I hear, feel, or see. After that, I move along to the Celtic Cross, using the cards that I've selected for the month. And this really gives us a nice in-depth view of the high points, some of the challenges, and everything in between. After that, I go to some specific areas that I know you care about, and that includes health, wealth, love, and destiny. This is the expanded forecast. After that, I will do a nice review of everything that we talked about and give you a closing message. Now, just a reminder, you can also use every forecast that you see here for your sun, your rising, or your moon sign if you happen to know that. If you don't happen to know it, don't worry about it. Stick with your sun sign and you'll get all the information you need. You can also, by the way, watch this on behalf of someone that you care about. So I hope that you enjoy what you see here, and if you do, please stick around until the end. In addition to that closing message and the review that I talked about, I'll also go into a greater depth on how you can give back if you want to support the channel. And that involves everything from, of course, liking and subscribing to joining me on social media, potentially setting up an appointment if you want some one-on-one coaching or you want to talk about something in your life. Or you can also consider becoming a patron, which allows you to do a one-time or a continuing contribution that directly supports the purchasing of supplies and all of the production that goes into creating these videos that you're seeing today. Again, I'll get into all of this later. I know right here, right now, you're interested in the messages for the month ahead. So let's get straight into the channeled message for November. So this is going to be a really exciting month for your sign. As I selected a deck of cards and began to meditate, it took me a moment to really find my footing, my grounding, because I felt almost as if I was like a feather or some sort of a seed in the wind that was being brought into all of these different directions. I almost couldn't focus for a moment. And I think for you this month, the first and the most important thing to do is to take a deep breath, ground yourself, and take apart the bigger list of things that you're trying to work on. Whether it's work, school, or even in your relationships, if there's something that you want to fix. The thing that could get in the way of you being successful this month is simply feeling overwhelmed, being distracted, or because there's so much that you want to try to get done, maybe feeling like the sort of repetitive thought in your head is, I don't know where to get started, or I can't do this, or it's not going to happen. They move from becoming a doubt to a self-fulfilling prophecy. So what you're going to do this month is click reset in your head and think, this is my goal today. I'm going to ground myself in that purpose. I'm going to finish it. And each and every day, I'm going to check something off the list, and kind of like a quilt where you put one patch together at a time. By the end of the month, you're going to have this beautiful tapestry. Everything's going to look good and make sense. In the process of doing it though, it might feel frustrating because you don't always see the big picture. The good news is it's not really that hard to ground yourself and start to visualize and understand what's possible. In fact, my favorite technique in making this happen is to create something that I call a vision board. And sometimes you can get really crazy and you'll see someone that has a bulletin board with all these different images, and you don't really need to go that far. In fact, using simple supplies, you could cut a picture out from a magazine. You could write some words down on a piece of paper, and then you can put it somewhere that you're going to see it every day. This could be the vanity as you're getting ready and brushing your hair or brushing your teeth. It could be your refrigerator, so that as you're going in to get your water in the morning, you're going to look at that. Whatever the prominent location is for you in the house, go ahead and set it up that way. You can also use it at work, but you might want to be more subtle if your idea is to find a new job. Use signs and symbols that resonate with you, put it in a space that is sacred and also personal for you, and see that, resonate with it every day, and know that that constant image in your mind, in your energy, in your body is going to actually help with manifestation. More importantly, it's also going to help you make smart choices when you have opportunities in front of you. I want you to really think of each and every day something that you can do to get closer to that image, to that sentence, to that idea that you're putting on your vision board, and know that that's going to also help you make positive movement in your life. When you see what you want to do, when you know how you want to get there, and when every day you start to chip away at that a little bit, this is how you make things happen. So the way that I captured this in automatic writing was to visualize, to see the big picture, to use that as a grounding technique, and then take one task at a time, one day at a time. And it's really important that as you go through the task that you've chosen for the day, that you absolutely finish that first, especially before you decide to either extend, or as the case may be, overextend yourself to help other people, to do other projects, to volunteer. There is something this month that really wants to get done. So make sure that you honor that dream or that intention and then give to others. I think this is especially true for parents or caretakers or anybody that just has a really big heart and tends to do a lot for everyone around them. Because sometimes there can kind of come a point where you're out of balance. So retrograde this month is giving you a chance to kind of achieve a balance where it didn't exist before, maybe bring things back into more reciprocity, and that's a good thing. Once you've had a chance to heal yourself, to accomplish something, you're gonna have so much more to give to others. So take care of yourself and finish something, honor something that seems to want to come through this month. I wanna also talk about something that I love with retrograde, which is it sets up an opportunity to try something again. Don't focus on the past because it is the past. You're going to be opening up new opportunities and new ways to get something done. That's the power of this month. It's a brand new start. So anything that didn't work can work. Things that have worked before, you might want to try differently. And basically just be flexible, flow through things like I was feeling at the beginning. That fluidity can be really advantageous as long as you're not kind of going willy-nilly in all these different directions. So I think that if you're grounded in one purpose, but kind of open to how to make that happen, that's a way that you can play it from both angles a little bit. You just have to have a little bit of focus on the goal, but you're going to have to try different things this month, different methods. And one of the best pieces of this is that, again, if you failed at being able to forgive someone in the past, or get a task done, or get someone's attention, or do something just because there was so much going on. This is your opportunity for a second chance. Embrace it. It's not something that happens all the time. And if you look at it as a fresh, clean slate, then the sky's the limit, okay? At this point, I'd like to take a look now at the Celtic Cross. As you know, I like to remain quiet as I pull all of the cards, but stick around because right after everything's laid out here on the table, I'll go through and decode everything and give you a sort of roadmap for the month ahead. So let's go ahead now and take a look at your Catalyst card. A reminder that the Catalyst functions as a connective thread for everything that we see. It also puts in a sort of highlight of the energy and the possibilities available to you. This month it's a little bit of a revelation as well. We have Innocence, but the card is reversed. And if you look at the colors here which correspond to chakras, we're dealing primarily with the first 3 chakras. So there's a lot of sexual tension for some of you. There could also be a lot of power dynamics at play. And maybe just out and out safety, feeling secure and safe in a situation. So when we're looking at it through that lens, one thing that I'm seeing for some of you is that a key relationship in the environment, someone that's close to you, someone that you work with, a friend, a family member, a lover. We have the Hermit card reverse, which is revealing, coming out of the dark into the light. So now we're seeing that something that we thought was just predictable, simple, easy, innocent is not exactly that. On the sort of most playful and enjoyable side of what this card could indicate, it might mean that there is someone who has a crush on you. And this month you could see that being revealed. It wasn't just a simple friendship, they wanted more. Depending on how you feel about that, this could be something that you like, or it could create a sort of uncomfortable situation. I'm not seeing a lot of negative cards around this, so I think that whatever comes to light, you'll be able to handle that. Now, if we look at the other side of the coin, looking at Innocence reverse, looking at the Hermit reverse, what could happen this month is you could learn something about someone that disappoints you profoundly. They could be implicated in a situation where you realize they didn't have your best interest at heart, especially since I see the 5 of Pentacles here in the recent past. And that has to do with leaving someone out in the cold, doing something that is really hurtful. It feels hurtful for you. And just know that this month, things have a way of unraveling, and that's going to come to light if that's happening in your life. This is something that would never be fun to deal with, but it is a blessing in disguise because now you see this person for their true colors. You can make better decisions moving forward, and if you choose to do so, you can hold them accountable for their actions. The other piece of information that I'm receiving is that some of you who have felt like something was done wrong to you, it's going to be made right this month. And it could be a little bit more sort of behind the scenes. It's not necessarily, a person disappointing you. It could be a policy that wasn't followed. Because when I look at the 5 of Pentacles, this has to do with pay, recognition, overall treatment. And so for some of you, if you were passed up for a promotion, or if there was any sort of discriminatory stuff that was done at work or at school or somewhere in your life, this month it also comes to light. So there's a revelation here. So you may have a chance this month to do something with that. You could decide to, take someone to court or ask for a reparation. And in that case, we're actually seeing a payment or a payout, and it's fortuitous. So it's sometimes really good to be able to see something. That's what retrograde does. Anything that was not working out before, I talked about second chances. You get a second chance this month to either have things equalize for you and things are made right, or you can make something better for yourself or others. So if you're sitting on some information and you feel like you need to help someone, maybe this is knowing about someone that did something wrong, or if you just know about how to help someone and you want to take that chance this month to be of aid to them, this is a chance where you could also kind of come out of hiding, come out of the woodwork and be there and let them know that this is their chance to grow, because innocence reversed is also growth, right? That's what happens when we grow up. So that's sort of the final, I would say, silver lining to all of this, which is, yes, ignorance, or in this case, maybe innocence, can be bliss, but it's also an illusion, and an illusion doesn't set you up for true success or a firm foundation. So this month, it really is about revelations. You're going to learn new things. That information, whether it's exhilarating or disappointing, is going to empower you to make really positive decisions and to either bring in the right people or weed out situations and people that you don't need. Exactly what we were talking about way at the beginning. That's the blessing of retrograde for your sign this month. Let's go ahead now and dig a little bit deeper. And if I get some more information on what's going to be revealed or who may be innocent or not innocent, we'll talk about that in a second. I'd like to go to the center card here. We have the 9 of Cups. By and large, it's a very good card. This is showing that many of you have this tendency to look for the positive side of things, like it's a glass half full kind of card. But when the card is reversed, as it is here in this spread, it indicates that sometimes if one thing kind of goes astray in a given month, you can let that kind of throw you into a tailspin. So my encouragement is to try to stay in a more central, energetic flow so that you're not pulled too high or too low. It's good to celebrate successes, and it's actually very healthy to process disappointment, loss, or any sort of low frequency. You have to acknowledge it, otherwise sweeping it under the rug actually just gives it more power. But if you sit there and fixate on a disappointment or something that isn't going right, then that actually is what's growing, instead of deciding how am I going to transmute, transform, or use that situation as a springboard. So let the Nine of Cups this month be a reminder for you to celebrate the successes, stay level-headed through everything, and if something goes wrong, don't let one day, one bad decision, one comment from a coworker or a friend or family member completely shift this positive energetic flow that I see coming through for you, okay? So Nine of Cups, we're gonna focus on the positive, which is that there's a lot to be happy about and for, and there's a lot of people around you that wanna support you. So use that positive energy and ignore some of the naysayers. And also don't be your own worst enemy and kind of get in your head over one thing that goes wrong. Because when we're looking at what's crossing that card, it's the Magician. You manifest your reality. So if you continue to focus on lower frequencies, then you bring them into your life this month. If you acknowledge what needs to be fixed, like I said, and focus on high frequencies and opportunities, and even your dreams and aspirations that haven't even sort of materialized yet, then you embody all of the energy of the Magician, which is to conjure, to create, to really bring things into being. So the only thing that you want to focus on with the Nine of Cups card in the reverse state, with it being crossed with the Magician, I would say that for some of you, this is a multitasking card, and it shows that you can do anything that you put your mind to. But when the emotional card underneath it is kind of tempering it, what I could see is that you could either have these manic fits where you try to do everything at once, and then you get disappointed mid-month when you realize, oh my God, I've only done 1/3 of this, half of that, this one's almost finished, but I'm not really done with anything. So try to rein it in a little bit. Don't do everything that you want to do. Do what's important and kind of like set a priority, set an agenda, and put it in motion this month. As I said earlier, you need to see the big picture, stay grounded in what you're trying to accomplish, and then each day pick one task to really finish off one thing at a time. Again, it's like a sandwich. Take a few bites. Don't try to put the whole thing in your mouth, or you're going to miss a lot of key things that are going on this month, okay? So let's go ahead and look at Deep Past here. We have the High Priestess in reverse. You've got two manifestation cards. One's working in your favor, the Magician. It's a crossing card, so it really isn't upright or reverse. But when I'm looking at Deep Past, the High Priestess, which for me shows not only creativity, but also psychic intuition, and also being able to take things and manifest, as we were just talking about. When it's reversed, it's showing some missed opportunities. For some of you, not listening and not tuning into your intuitive downloads. So this could be as simple as if you meet someone for the first time, you kind of get a quick bit of information. I can trust them or I can't trust them. This person's trouble or they're going to be a friend. Whatever your downloads are, I want you to really listen to that first impression this month especially, because I feel like in the past, you met some people, you were engaged in some situations where from the beginning you knew it was good or bad, but for some reason you didn't follow through. And again, I feel like there was something that was missed. You get a chance this month to reverse that and start to listen to yourself. So make time to meditate, listen to how you feel, act on that, okay? As we look at recent past, financial situations may be stressing some of you out. The Five of Pentacles is sort of a double-edged sword. One piece of it is self-confidence. So there could have been something that happened in the course of the last year even, where maybe you missed a promotion, maybe something that you tried to sell, it just flopped, it didn't go where you wanted it to, or maybe people criticized you and just made you doubt your own skills and said, you can't do that, or why are you in this job? Why do you have that title? And so this created a little bit of a fracture in your self-confidence and in the energy surrounding abundance. This month, just like we saw with the Nine of Cups, let that one thing just be a little tiny wrinkle and then kind of even everything out and think that's not defining me. That's one person's opinion. That was one moment in time. That was one situation. And for whatever reason, you wanted to, on a soul level, experience the lower frequency associated with loss or disappointment. You don't have to keep doing that anymore. It's almost as if you're getting a diploma this month and you get to graduate from that emotion or that situation. You're listening today. Today I'm telling you, you have a clean slate when it comes to accomplishing things, money, confidence, opportunities. We're going to move from the 5 of Pentacles to the 6. And you can tell, just even if you don't read cards, you can tell with the symbology on this, it's much better. The 5 of Pentacles, we see sort of a wintry scene with something that's been broken or missed here. With this one, we see the flow of opportunities starting to come in. Now, with the 6 of Pentacles, there's an important thing with this, which is you have to make smart choices this month. We'll get more into that in a moment, but when we're looking at the past, one thing that you don't see with this illustration is normally there is 2 figures on it. One person is in the front, one is behind, and there's a feeling of being left out, disappointed, or not acknowledged. So what you want to do this month is start to celebrate successes, start to acknowledge what you've done, and even if a boss, a mentor, a parent, or someone that you loved couldn't do that for you, I'm here to help you see it today, and you're also going to have to play that role in your own life. Be your own mentor, be your own parent, and think, I've got this, I can do this. If nothing else, I'm going to prove that person wrong through succeeding, through overcoming this sort of situation in the past. You are stronger than that, and that's a consistent message that I'm receiving for you. One last thing with the 5 of Pentacles, please take care of your health. If you're working too hard, if you're overdoing things, the 9 of Cups is definitely a card of maybe eating too much, drinking too much, not sleeping enough. Something is at an extreme. You have to bring that into moderation this month. And when I'm also looking at the Magician card, for any of you that have tendencies towards abusing substances, or like I said, it could just be caffeine or alcohol, whatever it is, the elasticity this month is going to stretch too far and you're probably going to get sick, so you don't want to do that. Pull everything back, be kind to your body, ask for help if you need it. Because as I'm looking at the cards in front of me, I think there's way too many things that are working in your favor and you really don't want to be taken out of commission. In fact, when we look at your crowning card, we have the Queen of Wands and she's in the upright position. This is such a good card for management. If there's anything that you have to do at work to get ahead, you're really set up for success. If you want to launch your own business, also set up for success. And if you just want to be able to make some changes in your life, then don't underestimate the power of thought and body language. Know that your self-belief, your faith in yourself, the ability also to hold yourself with confidence and approach people in a sort of an authoritative way, it starts to put out that energy of success. And quite literally, your thoughts become a reality as you continue to broadcast them. The reason that this is really important to pay attention to this month is because you have not 1 but 2 manifestation cards, the Magician and then the High Priestess. Because she's reversed, it shows that when you start to give weight to the things like, I can't do this, this won't happen, I'm not good enough, they become the reality, something that I've also talked to other signs about this month. Manifestation is really at your disposal. Don't put that in the wrong sort of direction. Don't misuse it. Instead, kind of cultivate that energy and think, I'm going to be a creator this month. I'm going to lead by example. I'm going to exhibit in body language, in my thoughts, and in the energy subsequently around me, how much I can do. I'm going to sort of emanate that I am successful, that people want to be around me. Now, there is an energy this month with your sign that also is asking that you invest in yourself. Normally when I see any of the court cards in Pentacles in the upright position, it could show that perhaps there's money that is coming in, a position of power that is going to be made available to you, or that you're somehow going to be moving resources around. The reversal shows that you need to either part with some of your money, time, or energy, or that you need to invest it sort of on your own person or in your own life. So let's take it in that perspective here when we're looking at the King of Pentacles in reverse. This is about making sure that you are absolutely in touch with your finances this month. I think that makes sense because some of you have a little bit of cleaning up to do with the 5 of Pentacles reversed. And when you start to steer the ship in the right direction, we've got 6 of Pentacles. This is my baseline card for being financially stable. So if anything in the past disappointed you, if you're recovering from a bad investment, if someone stole money from you, or if you just wish you had more money in the bank, this month you get to rectify things and start to see the balance moving in the positive direction. So ultimately, I see self-control, empowerment, and growth when I look at these 3 cards dealing with finances, but it does take, or require, I should say, a little bit of action on your part, and some of you may decide to move things around a little bit. This is very active, it's very focused on you, and I think that's the most important thing to look at. If someone comes to you this month with a big idea like, oh, you need to invest in this, or I need some money for this and I'll cut you into the profits, et cetera, et cetera, I think you want to be very leery of that, not only because we're in a retrograde period, but because we have some cards coming through that are showing that things aren't what they seem. They're not always at face value. The outcome card is the 2 of Wands. You can start to talk about stuff, but wait and say, you know what, I'm really looking at maybe starting this in 2020. So we can look at a January start date, but I need to talk to my lawyer. I need to get all the foundation set up, etc. So go slowly in anything like that, get a second set of eyes on it, and make sure that it works for you and that you're really not making a hasty decision there. We don't have the Fool. We're not showing that you need to make like a split decision, okay? So take your time and really make sure that you understand your finances this month, okay? With that being said, if you do have to sell something like a house or part with some sort of material object, the King of Pentacles in reverse shows that there might be a slight loss in that, so you want to be prepared. It could be as little as 10% because face cards like that can be 1 or 10. So be aware of that and just make sure that you're comfortable with whatever the loss could be there. I think waiting is the best thing to do, okay? When it comes to diet, the King of Pentacles is kind of right by that 9 of Cups card, which is saying don't overdo it. So too much alcohol, too much sugar, too much caffeine. Basically, the King of Pentacles is showing that you need to sort of just bring it down a notch and be kinder to your body. You want to really put in whole foods, low sugar foods, things that are healthier and leaner, and think of it sort of as like your body is like a battery, and if you're putting a lot of junk in it, it's going to have highs and lows that are kind of crashing all the time. So this is a month to really get serious about a good diet, good sleep routine, and realizing that you really are what you put in your body. So treat it like a temple, start to put really good food in it, and know that that's going to help you. That's going to allow you to be more productive and accomplish all the possibilities this month, which I'm seeing for you. All right, we're looking at the ego this month. It's important to be outspoken. We have Queen of Swords and she's reversed. I'm not afraid of Queen of Swords. I think it's a really good card. Some people give this a bad rap because it can come across as too direct and it can hurt people's feelings, but this is in your ego this month. So what I think is important is to get real with yourself and also with others. If there is a revelation and you realize that something needs to be fixed, all the Queen of Swords is saying is to stand up for yourself. And when she's reversed, it's really about not sort of beating around the bush. You go straight in and say, I have a concern, this was brought to my attention, tell me what's going on. That's it. You just literally go straight to the point. And then that person has to show their colors, as I said. If there's something in your life that you want to change, this is also about being constructive and critical at the same time, not sitting too long in that and just thinking, yeah, I do think I need to work on this. I'm going to work on this. And then moving forward too. So there's a moment or two this month where being very direct is important. And I think that there's something very powerful in that. So don't worry about it too much. Because this is a retrograde, the only cautionary note that I'm going to say is that if you're going to publish something or write a letter or something that you say is going to be broadcast, the Queen of Swords in reverse means that you absolutely want to have a trial run with this. So for any public speeches, really know what you're going to say it a few times, and then talk to some different people and see if the words, the tone, and the overall sort of arch of this communication is resonating, or if it maybe is a little too much. So if you can reschedule a big public event this month, it might be better until you have a little bit more time to suss out some of the specifics. But listen, sometimes life moves on. So just make sure that you aren't missing something here. Have people look at it, have people listen to it, and then you should be ready to move on. With the Hermit card in reverse in the environment, this is a month where you're probably going to be asked, pushed, or you're going to see situations in your life where you have to come out of your shell a little bit. And you might also need to do the same for people around you. So if there's someone that you're depending on, whether it's your partner, a family member, or a coworker, and you just need them to be a lot more present, pick up the phone or go see them in person, see what's going on with them, get to know them a little bit, and then try to bring them out of their shell, because I feel like there's a little bit of hermiting going on both in your life and then also in people around you. As I said, I really like what hopes, fears, and opportunities is revealing with the Six of Pentacles. This tells me that you have more than enough time, energy, love, money, resources, but there's just some smart decisions that have to be made. That's why we saw the Queen of Swords reversed. Quite simply, in one word, it can just be the word no. Justice reversed, Queen of Swords reversed, they can have that sort of simple line in the sand connotation, which is, I don't want to do this, I can't do this, this isn't right. So if you have to say that this month, or if somebody says that to you, just know that this is going to allow you or that other person to let go of something that they don't need, okay? It's a blessing again. Ultimately, everything is putting you in a really positive trajectory. We only have a couple months left in this year, and your final card is the Two of Wands, which is also a card that is connected, I believe, with the Magician and the High Priestess. It's one of the manifesting cards. So if you can see what you're trying to do, I talked about this with Aries, then you can start to bring it into fruition. So you as well, Taurus, have that same energy here. So you want to keep and hold that big picture that we were talking about that you're trying to create, and just know that it's happening, even if you don't see it every day. Three of Wands would mean like you were immediately seeing it. The Two of Wands is showing that it's going to take a little longer than you want, but it's happening. And if you believe it's happening and get into that energy and that enthusiasm of that, with the Queen of Wands and the Nine of Cups at your disposal, that means that you can actually make it happen faster. Faster than the universe thought it would, faster than you thought it would. But you have to get into that energetic flow for the magic to happen. But you are the Magician. That was what was crossing the center of the Nine of Cups here. So you have the ability to create a miracle and create something in half the time if you need to. So just know that if you believe in yourself, if you follow through with the hard work, and you get other people in that same energy, you can kind of beat expectations with doing that, okay? So let's now take a look at the expanded forecast. We're going to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny, knowing that each of these is multifaceted. When we look at the health card, it's not simply what's going on in your physical body. As I've been looking at it, in fact, for the past half year, it seems like these cards have had a lot more to do with emotional and spiritual state. So your mind, body, and spirit message this month is to not overdo it. It says easy does it. And the prayer here is just saying, help me detach, retreat, and let go so that healing can occur. So I believe this absolutely goes hand in hand with Nine of Cups reversed and the King of Pentacles reversed, showing that, again, you want to avoid extremes. You want to be kind to yourself. You want to balance everything. We don't see it in this illustration so much, but normally there's scales in the Six of Pentacles. So this is a month to just really try to be moderate, to try to embody temperance, to not go into any extreme too much, and that's going to be your friend. Also know that recovery and sobriety and continued success in your path towards healthiness and well-being is absolutely possible. We see the little baby here, and some of this has to do with your relationship to your parents or something from your past. I've seen this come through in a few signs this month. I'm not surprised because it's retrograde. But Five of Pentacles has to do with children and parents, or mentors and people that are kind of looking up to them. And a lot of times there's a feeling of being left out, being disappointed, not receiving something that you wanted. So this month, either find that energy within, and I think that's really what we saw with the King of Pentacles, or maybe seek out a different mentor. As you get older, have you noticed, I have anyway, that sometimes it's not your blood relatives that matter so much. It's the chosen family. It's your best friends. It's a friend from college. It's maybe a neighbor. And maybe you're going to do a Thanksgiving celebration together, or a Christmas or Hanukkah celebration together, and you realize suddenly, it feels like I'm family with this person, maybe more so than my actual family. And that's perfectly fine. That's actually how it is in the soul family. You've just recognized someone that you knew from a past life, or that you resonate with more on a soul level. So this month, if you don't have it in your family, maybe you can cultivate that in the chosen family, and I would say more importantly within, because how you feel about yourself is what's going to attract these people, and the frequency you want to be as high as possible when you're doing that. Let's go ahead now and move along to wealth. Wealth, just like health, is multifaceted. This is not simply how you are doing at work or what's going on in your money. It's how your energy, how your emotions, how your thoughts are affecting all of that. We have the angel of love showing up in this particular part of your life, And for me, this is not simply about romantic feelings, although it can be, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But I think it also has to do with how much passion you feel towards what it is you're working on. If there's a feeling of being disconnected or not truly sort of being able to channel or do what you want to do, this month is a chance where you should try to make a change, break out, do something on your own. That's part of it. Yes, there is a chance that love could be intersecting with your work life because it's in the work sector. We saw that there could be someone or something that came through where it wasn't what it seemed. There could be a secret that's being kept. So for some of you, that could mean that if you're looking for love, it could exist in the most unlikely places, at a work party or at work itself. You just have to kind of sort out if that's going to make sense for you or if it's going to complicate things, as I said before. If you're coupled, obviously that's a complication and you just have to figure out how to let the person know that this is the wrong time and that you appreciate the sentiments, but that you're committed. And I think it could just be as simple as that. We're talking about the Queen of Swords just a few minutes ago. So I think being kind, being direct, being to the point, and just saying thanks, it's always good to hear that, but I am committed. That's it. You're done. But there's something to deal with there. So either finding more passion in what you're doing for a living, dealing with some sort of an overlap between your personal life and work life that needs to be fixed, or perhaps deciding to take on a passion project. When you invest in something that you love, money, success, opportunity comes as well. And that's what we see here with the Six of Pentacles. Looking now at love itself, we were just talking about that. It all boils down to trust. And we have trust reversed here. And this is sort of a reimagined version of the Fool card. So the interesting thing for many of you is that I feel like this could be a month where you decide to part ways with somebody. The message that I see when I look at that card is that it's time to move on, and that as you let go of someone or something, you make room for something better, an upgrade, if you will, to come into your life. So what you could do this month is, instead of focusing on the disappointment or whatever it is that happened there, you could think, I'm so happy that that is behind us. I can't wait for something better in the future. Whether you choose to stay with that person or choose to move on and allow someone better to come in, just see the future as being more fulfilling, more in the light. And that's really what this whole month is about, moving you into your light, into your power, into being grounded and solid and able to create. And as we look at the last card here, which is the Destiny card, for me, destiny is not something that's sort of carved in stone. This is your trajectory, and I believe in free will, or we wouldn't be having this reading today. So as we look at this card here in a moment, what it's really doing is allowing you to check your own trajectory and decide, do I want to stay on that path or do I want to course correct? So we have a receiving card that's reversed, very much like the King of Pentacles, which is about investing. One thing that I want you to check intuitively in your own life is, are you truly open to new things coming in? A new job, more money, more opportunities, growth in general, different ways of thinking and being. Because if you are, then you're going to start to see some action over the next couple of months. We see the Two of Wands. But the fact that that card is reversed is suggesting that you might be holding on to either an old way of thinking, or you may be uncertain or uneasy with the change that is about to embark in your life. So I say have some fun with this and say a little bit of a mantra or a prayer with each day this month and say, I'm open to abundance in all forms, in love, in money, in new opportunities. Help me discern and decide what those highest frequency, best opportunities are, and to embrace them without concern. I think being picky is important, but being open and allowing for the best opportunity to come through is great. One thing that you can do when you're manifesting is say, I want all of this or better. So allow the universe to surprise you with something that could surpass your expectations, and just really be open. Open your heart, open your mind, create space, both figuratively and then also literally in your house, in your closet, in your dresser, everywhere. Just start to create space and opportunity. All right, let's go ahead now, turn the camera down, review everything that we talked about, and then I will leave you with a closing word. Your channeled message this month was to keep your eye on that big picture. Use that to stay grounded, and using a vision board, for instance, you can take each day one task at a time and really try to work towards that goal. the more you can envision what it is you're trying to create, the closer you can bring that to actually happening. And that's what we see here with the Two of Wands, which was reversed, but ultimately is showing that it's the first step to manifestation. What I'm seeing in the past for some of you is that there could have been a doubt or a fear in your ability to manifest, but with that Magician energy right at the center this month, you know you can do it. Innocence reversed. We talked at pretty decent length about what this could mean. For some of you, there's just this sort of coming out of the dark moment where something that you didn't see before is revealed. It could simply be an aha moment where you know that you want to do something, or that you learn a certain thing about yourself that wasn't apparent to you before. It could also mean someone in your life surprises you with wanting more in a relationship, or maybe having ulterior motives. Whatever this is, whether it's an understanding of who you are, who someone else is, or what someone else wants, this is a blessing. It just comes perhaps in an unexpected time or way. So just be open to that and try to embrace it for all it's worth. Nine of Cups in reverse is asking you to try to stay in the middle energetically when it comes to your excitement this month. So if it's a really great day, celebrate it, but don't go to extremes. Don't drink too much, eat too much, or kind of go too far when it comes to just celebrating overall. With the card reversed, the same thing would happen if there's a disappointment. Really seeing everything as being part of a bigger picture and knowing that the highs and the lows aren't defining your ultimate goal. It's really just a step in the journey. The Magician card is about tempering all of this with the fact that your thoughts create reality. So if you are too high or too low, then it starts to create sort of chaotic moments in your life. Being grounded, being very focused, and working each day to make something happen, that's how you're going to stay in your power. Don't overextend yourself. This can happen with the Magician. Don't second guess your ability to manifest. You learned that lesson from the past. When it comes to your health, try to take care of yourself. I didn't talk too much about Five of Pentacles in health, but it can sometimes indicate that you need to focus on circulation. There may be some chronic pain or joint issues that pop up with the Five of Pentacles, but usually this has more of a sort of subtle energy that has to do with relationships between you and a parent, or you and your children, or a close family member that might kind of lean on you. You have a chance to fix things this month. You can also acknowledge that you have everything that it takes to be whole, even if someone in your life, you were looking for that support or for that maternal or paternal energy. This is saying you can do it on your own. When we're looking at money overall, self-confidence and self-worth will equal net worth. So start to see your potential, invest in yourself. The King of Pentacles in reverse could be going back to school or getting a certification. Know that in the long run, this is going to open up doors for you. Queen of Wands. This is a month where you want to take things and really own them from a process perspective. This is about management, about taking responsibility, and also walking the walk. So if you say you want a certain sort of behavior in friendships or at work or in your life, demonstrate that. Show other people that you have what it takes too. Your actions are going to speak louder than your words. We talked about King of Pentacles in reverse. There's a chance for you to invest in yourself. There's a chance also to take the reins when it comes to money and to fix things a little bit. Say no, make better choices, smarter choices than you have in the past. There also might be a slight loss or an investment or an output of money, but things start to balance out in the months to come. I would say it takes 1 or 2 months to recover from that, but I do see a recovery. We look at the ego, and it's all about speaking your truth, not having to sugarcoat it. But if there is a public speech or something that's going to go on record, you definitely want a few sets of eyes on that to make sure that the tone is correct. In the environment, this is a month of coming out, of revealing, of seeing things for the true color. So there's nothing to really be afraid of with the Hermit card. Reverse, it's just perhaps unexpected how some of this stuff could happen. So stay open and try to roll with the punches a little bit when that happens. I see that your money situation will eventually get into a place where you're much more comfortable with the Six of Pentacles. Same thing with time, energy, and opportunities. You can't do everything you want, though, and that is one thing that the Six of Pentacles says. It's not the Nine of Pentacles where you've really built up a big nest egg. It's something where you have to make smart choices, say no, and perhaps disappoint some people, but you're going to do that with the knowledge that you're going to have what it takes in the future to do more for yourself and for others. You can't spread it too thin this month when it comes to time, energy, and money. Two of Wands is showing that the manifestation is starting this month. Really learn the lessons of Nine of Cups and Magician here, which was that your extremes and also your thoughts are going to create things. So try to stay even tempered, try to focus on the positive, but don't go overboard. Just really think of what's possible, feel that you're making progress, and stay grounded. It's going to be your best friend. In the expanded forecast in health, easy does it. Don't go to extremes. That's something that we talked about with Nine of Cups and King of Pentacles in reverse. It's showing that there's a little too much going on there. Angel of Love. Love yourself, love others, love what you're doing. That's how you find success. There could also be an overlap of romantic energy in work this month. That could be welcome. It could be something that you don't like, but it is something that you have to deal with if it pops up. When we look at love, either someone coming into your life or leaving your life, because we have the Fool reversed. There's something that is unexpected about this. You have to trust yourself and trust that person. Without that, you can't really build a foundation. I got the energy of someone leaving, but I think it is to allow for something better, an upgrade to come into your life. Ultimately, no matter what you do this month, you want to focus on opening up to receiving blessings and abundance in all forms. And put out to the universe that you have certain expectations, but you're willing to be surprised with something better. That's a great way to ensure that your manifestation surpasses your expectations. So this brings your monthly reading to a close. I hope that you got exactly what you needed to navigate all the blessings, any of the challenges, and also all of the different opportunities that are coming through. I feel like new love, new projects, and for many of you, some improvements with finances are all at your disposal. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the closing message, but first I'd like to remind you that if you ever want to talk a little bit more about something that's going on in your life or something that I covered here, I'm absolutely available and you can schedule an appointment with me if you'd like. The way that you can do this is by clicking on the first card in the video or the first link below. That'll take you to my booking site where you can explore rates and availability. And if that makes sense for you, then I look forward to talking to you soon. If you would simply like to say thanks and support the channel through becoming a patron, the way that you can do that is by clicking on the second card or the second link. This will bring you to a page on my website where you can either do a one-time contribution through PayPal or here through the channel by clicking on that join button. To anybody that has contributed in the past, I just want to say thank you so much. Today is possible because of you. And if you're helping make the next round possible, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart that I appreciate your generosity. Finally, an easy way for everybody to support this channel that really just involves a few clicks is, of course, if you haven't already liked, subscribed, and commented, please do that right now. And then if you'd like, you can click on the third card or the third link. This will take you to my website where you can also join me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and get my newsletter if you haven't already. And please feel free to also share what you see here on your social media feeds. That part, in fact, is essential to the continued success of this channel. And ultimately, it helps me fulfill one of my purposes on the planet, which is to raise consciousness, to have some intelligent conversations about spirituality, and most importantly, to help people. I really want to make sure that in this time where there's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of doubt, a lot of shadow energy, that we can all cultivate our light and shine a little bit brighter on this planet. So thank you so much for sharing. You're helping me do all of that. For your closing word this month, the message that the universe is continuing to kind of push me to say at the end here is that there's something really good around the corner, something bigger, something better. And in your meditation this month, hold that thought that you are not only starting to change internally, but you're changing things around you, and see 2020, which is just a couple months away, as an upgrade. This is going to be a chance for better situations, better pay, better passion in your life, better health. And each and every day, you're going to take one day, one task at a time to get closer to that. And be ready to receive some surprises, positive surprises, not the kinds that kind of like freak you out. Think of things that are going to come through, and you might have to pinch yourself to think, is this really happening? Because if you can start to entertain that possibility, that's what 2020 will look like for you. Your thoughts are very powerful this month with respect to manifestation. So start to manifest great things for the year ahead. And the stuff that is falling away, the revelations that come out, maybe something that you didn't want to know, it's coming through so that you can trim, so that you can prune, so that you can basically make room for something better in your life, something that can surpass your biggest expectations. In other words, don't let your own fear or inability to imagine limit the possibilities. This brings your monthly reading to a close. And at this point, I want to say thank you. From both Apollo and I appreciate your time, your energy, and all the work you're doing on yourself. Take care of yourself, be kind to others, and have a fantastic November.